Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another political episode. So as you can see, we are clearly near the end of our analysis, and we are now looking at the state of Utah, which has been deemed as a red state, but it has been considered to be, by a lot, to be more of a rhino state, seeing that how many rhinos Utah has had. You will see Nikki Haley perform decently in the state, winning like the Salt Lake City area. In the primaries, but no surprise here. The state is a red state, 60% or close enough, 59% going in with Donald Trump as a whole, and we got very interesting results to go through because I think we have a big analysis here. So first off, let's go over the facts. A Mountain West state, Utah has not been won by a Democratic candidate since Lyndon B. Johnson in his 1964 landslide, and is a strongly red state, a trait vastly owed to the state's conservative Mormon base. And this conservative Mormon base tends to be more neocon. They support, like, for instance, the Iraq War. For instance, I would say that's not the fundamental of the Mormon faith, but you could definitely tell that there's not too much criticism when it comes to the Iraq War and the Mormon base, and they tend to be upbeat with John Curtis and Mitt Romney, who unanimously are pro-war. So if you got your idols, Mitt Romney and John Curtis, who are actively in support of like the Ukraine war, a lot of your base is going to feed into the guy that they're following. So I have no doubt. Yeah, John Curtis, not to mention a neocon, straight out won the primary, which is pathetic, in the said primary for the United States Senator back in the summer. So that does speak volume compared to the MAGA candidate he was facing. He didn't stand a chance. Only did very good in the St. George, in other words, St. George and said Washington County area. But going forward, as expected, Donald Trump won the state handily, though with only a 1.2% Republican swing. Utah proved to have one of the smallest rightward shifts in the nation. Makes sense. Then again, not all the neocons in the state are fond of Trump. Trump became the first Republican to win the White House without carrying Grand County since William McKinley in 1900. Yes, Grand County is considered to be a bellwether county, although it is, to some degree, a liberal county. And yes, it voted twice for Democrats in 2 consecutive elections. Why is it Democrat? Well, let's see. Is there any sort of university? Oh, yes, it has Utah State. Grand County is home to one of the nation's, to one of the 9 statewide regional campuses of Utah State University, located in the city of Moab. And no doubt about it, this city is extremely Democrat, even though it's 5,000 people, but students occupy this city. Students in University of Utah, as you know, occupy this city. But yes, this is why Grant County is considered to be more Democrat. And to be honest, it did go for Joe Biden by 10. And it stayed in the Democrat column by 10. And that makes sense because all that Gen Z women and maybe some low testosterone Gen Z men went out in support for Kamala Harris. Well, a lot of people say, maybe Grand County would be more compatible. You'll see it voted decisively for 2012 identity politics. Mitt Romney's Mormon. Grand County, like all of said Utah, is very Mormon, so they're going to vote for Mitt Romney. While in 2016, it was very close, very tight. 14.48%. We know that 14.48% where that went to, guys. Do we not? It went to McMullen, I want to believe. Is that your name? Evan McMullen? Yeah, Evan McMullen. He even got on the chart. 21.54%. He took, I would say, a lot from Trump, because look at this, 45.54%. This is like the first time, the lowest percentage range. This is the very first time that a Republican won Utah down in the 40% range. Well, I think that's an understatement, because clearly, 1996, I mean, okay, yeah, I was wrong. George H.W. Bush. That was the first time since George H.W. Bush who carried the state decisively. And yeah, independent Evan McMullin was kind of performing a Ross Perot in that said election. But guess what? Part of the reason why Donald Trump won the county was Evan McMullin, I would say, was taking both votes from Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. If that wasn't true, then supposedly it would be very, very close in the end. But yes, you could say, yeah, Grand County is definitely a Democrat county. It will remain a Democrat county. I want to believe Grand County even voted against Mitt Romney in the United States Senate election. We could take a look at that in 2018, 6 years ago. Yes, you'll see. Grand County voted against Mitt Romney, okay? I mean, if it comes to the presidential race, they're all for him. But if it's a Senate race with another Mormon, Jenny Wilson, then they're just going to totally ditch him, okay? 2024, same results. Even the student vote in Grand County wasn't so into John Curtis. But we're focusing here, so no surprise here, Salt Lake City joined on the Harris train. So did, I want to believe, that Slope County, but let's get away from Texas. We are going to take a look here at 2024. Let's see, North Star elections. We're going to go all the way down to our prediction, what we were saying it was going to look like. Okay, this is the presidential period. Perfect. Yeah, here's what we were saying it was going to look like here. Same results. We were absolutely correct. You give yourself a pat on the back. But I think we saw this coming, though. Utah is actually very easy to predict because of Grand County. I know Grand County was a little wonky, a little drunk and high over the last presidential years because really they were screwed up, along with the rest of Utah, the voting for Mitt Romney in 2012. Evan McMullin affected the state's outcome in 2016. But if it, let's just say Romney wasn't involved in 2012 and McMullin didn't run in 2016, Slope County would be very Democrat, voting since 2008. So not Slope, I mean Grand County would be very Democrat here, voting Democrat since 2008. So honestly, I'm like, yeah, I think Grand County, which has voted against Mitt Romney, who's probably the liberal you can ever get in for a Republican in Utah, it still voted against him, although it was very close. But then again, Grand County holding a university, not that very liberal. I mean, not that very conservative, not really that Republican, not really a fan. So, of course, that's where the state university is. Honestly, there's a couple of universities in Salt Lake City. Could be also an indicator why. But then again, in Senate elections, it seems as if Salt Lake City likes to vote for neocons. It's a huge neocon city. I guess there's a high Republican registration, but they're all neocons, which is frustrating. But yes, nothing really different compared to what we were predicting here. So we were right, but let's compare and contrast. What changed in Utah? It doesn't seem like anything really changed according to our Utah maps. So yeah, you got in 2020, this is the 2020 election, you got this county more lighter, and while in 2022 it's way more conservative, it's more darker, if you will. But yes, you'll see it's more 60% range. But yeah, you get what I am saying. So then again, there's nothing really surprising here. I know Utah has a big atheist vote rising, an atheist that's becoming more secular, and that's why part of probably the reason is part of the reason why Donald Trump just had a 1 point swing to the right is that atheist vote getting mobilized and voting for Kamala Harris. But nonetheless, the state is pretty religious because of the Mormon vote. And anyway, what do you guys think in regards to our video? Nothing really big to talk about today, but let me know down in the comments. And as always, I'll see you all in the next political episode.